Zelda speedrunning, and more specifically Ocarina of Time speedrunning, is something so very complicated and convoluted that it's very hard to understand what's even going on. You got stuff like SRM, ACE, RBA that make watching any speedrun just a confusing mess. Ocarina of Time is a big game. It takes at least 8 to 10 hours to beat it, 15 if you decide to go for 100%, but I've developed a route that will have you beating the game in just an hour and 45 minutes. There are 5 main things you need to beat the game. You'll need the Shadow and Spirit medallions, you'll need the bow, you'll need magic, and you'll need the light arrows. But in order to get those things, you'll need to basically fill in an entire flowchart that takes you through the entire game to grab those specific items. Luckily, you can skip basically all of those things. Just a disclaimer, saying you've developed an Ocarina of Time route is kind of like a Simpsons did it type thing. Okay, I'm aware that someone has probably already thought of this before. Okay, I'm not claiming this as mine, it's just something I've thought of completely independently from the internet. These are all ideas that I've come up on my own without any like inspiration or something, I guess. Okay, I didn't see someone else do something and think, oh, well, I can incorporate that into, you know? Like, these were all ideas that I've toyed with myself, okay? So, getting that out of the way. We start the game with the opening cutscene, and once we're able to move freely, our first main objective is to grab the Kokiri sword and 50 rupees, which can be done relatively easily. Once we've obtained both, head into the Kokiri shop and buy a Deku shield and a single Deku stick. Once outside, immediately equip both and break the Deku stick on this fence here. It'll be important later. This is where we encounter hard glitch number 1, Forest Escape. The game won't let you leave Kokiri Forest until you've beaten the first dungeon, the Deku Tree, but because that takes too much time and effort, we're gonna get around that. Simply walk up against the wall, press C up and align your sight like this. Crouch with your shield and perform a crouch stab, and as soon as Link bounces off the wall, press A to talk to the guard. If done right, Link will clip into him like this, and when the text box closes, you'll be on the other side. Once there, he'll still be guarding you but now on all sides, but simply walk over to the other side of the entrance and he will clip through the wall and fall into the void. Make sure to go slowly or he'll simply climb over the wall. This glitch is pretty hard to master but easy to learn. I definitely get some practice in before attempting a full run, as you can waste so much time trying to get it to work. There is an alternate method using the sign here, but I find it a little convoluted and hard to explain. I personally find this method easier to perform and more consistent. Now that we've escaped the forest, grab your ocarina from Saria and finish talking to the owl here, and we're going to make a sharp turn and head towards Lake Hylia. Once there, set a Scarecrow song by playing any combination of 8 notes to the Scarecrow here and you'll be good. If you're really good at Forest Escape, you could save warp back to Kokiri Forest and escape again, but if you're not confident enough, you'll have to make the trek to the castle on foot. Before you enter the castle, be sure to grab these rupees by climbing up the drawbridge and jumping off. You're going to need quite a few rupees in the next little bit. From here, we're going to have to play the game relatively vanilla. Talk to Malon, grab the Cuckoo Egg, and wake up Talon as normal, but instead of talking to Zelda, we head back and get caught by the guard which warps us back to the beginning. We then want to head to Lon Lon Ranch. Once we get there, we can play Talon's Cuckoo game and win a bottle of milk, as well as learn a Epona song, both of which are important. And with that, the Childling section is done, and we can head back to the Temple of Time. Make sure to grab the Red Rupee again before heading into the market. Here we encounter hard glitch number 2, Door of Time Skip, but like Forest Escape, simple to learn, hard to master. You want to get into this corner here and press C up to go into first person mode and line up R and return against this wall here. It's fine if there's a small gap, but you don't want it to go a bit over. Now here's the hard part. Z target, backflip, hold slightly left down on the analog stick, but not all the way, and press A. If done correctly, Link will do a roll to the left. Immediately hold the analog stick back in the same direction now as far as it can go and press A again. If done correctly, Link will do a diagonal side hop and clip through the door. Give it about half a second and quickly jump slash, and Link will be through the Door of Time. What's happening here is that Link is doing a backflip and a side hop at the same time, which causes Link to go in this backwards diagonal, which is just at the right angle and speed to go through this small little window in the Door of Time. This glitch is definitely going to need some practice, but with some effort and time you will get the hang of it. If failed, Link will fall through the void and you'll lose a heart. However, you can always drink your Lon Lon milk to recover some hearts if need be. We do need the bottle empty in the future anyways. Now that we're through, the rest is relatively easy and the hard stuff is out of the way. Watch the long cutscene for becoming Adult Link and now we're off. Note that you have bombs equipped on C down. Do not remove these bombs, doing so will kill the entire run. So despite the Door of Time always being open for Adult Link in a normal playthrough, when we attempt to leave, we'll find the door still closed. However, all you need to do is save and quit, then reopen your file, and you'll be on the other side. We then want to head towards Lon Lon Ranch. From here we need to grab Epona. You need at least 50 rupees to make a bet with Ingo, but he won't offer the bet until your second time riding. You can jump over each of these fence gates to grab 5 rupees, both times to replace the 10 rupee entry fee. When you have Epona, let's head to Kakariko Village. From here, we need to empty our bottle of milk if you haven't already. Head up towards the potion shop and exit through the back door to get into this grotto. This would be a good time to buy the Hylian shield from the bazaar next door. There's a red rupee in this grotto chest, so if you don't have enough, you should be with the help of that rupee. All we need in the grotto is the fish here, so grab that with your empty bottle and then jump off this fence here to talk to Anju, where she'll give you the Pakakuku egg, which then becomes the Pakakuku, which is important later. In the graveyard, we'll quickly grab the hookshot from Tanpei's grave, and then do this double side hop to avoid getting stuck in the room with the Song of Time blocks. Exit the hole, and it's time to enter the most confusing part of the run, the reverse bottle adventure. Head to Lake Hylia, where we're going to need to activate the Scarecrow song we made earlier, by going to the Scarecrow here and playing the song. If you don't have 20 rupees to play the fishing game, cut the grass here and you should get enough. Once that's done, we can head towards the fishing hole and play the song again, where we can hookshot to the Scarecrow and get to the platform. Here we're going to need to steal the fishing rod. Get into the water until Link starts swimming, then swim back up to where if you dive, Link will do this weird little jump when he's done. When you start diving, let go of A and immediately start mashing B, and if done correctly, Link will cast the fishing rod and still be able to move freely. From there, navigate yourself back to the entrance of the pond and press A to open the door. The A button will still say real, but you are allowed to exit. Once that's done, it's time to begin. You'll notice that the fishing rod is now on B, and if you head into the water, come back out of the water, then pause and unpause, it'll now be a Deku stick for some reason. Get to flat ground and equip the fish we just caught. Drop the fish and catch it again. We then want to immediately backflip and press the C bottle and then B before Link touches the ground. If everything is done right, Link will drop the fish, but there's now an empty bottle on B. By now, your Pakakuku likely would have hatched, so set the cuckoo to C right and then catch the fish. You'll quickly notice that Link now has black gauntlets, which are on par with the golden gauntlets. This is just one of the many useful things we can do with a bottle on B. RBA, or Reverse Bottle Adventure, is something so complex in theory yet easy in practice. Basically, it deals with number values in each item, and with certain items on C right, you can basically write your own code and give yourself many items, which we'll see later. Keep the fish on B and head back to Kakariko. Wake up Talon with the cuckoo and then quickly climb up on top of this house here, and replace the C button fish with some Lon Lon milk. Then trade up the Pakakuku with Kojiro, where you equip him to C right and then simply drop the fish on B and catch it again. Now you'll notice you have both the quiver and the bomb bag. Then put the Lon Lon milk on C right, dropping the fish and catch it again. Doing so will give you 25 completely usable bombs. With the quiver now in your inventory, you can go into the bazaar and buy at least 20 arrows. You don't have a bow, but the game will still let you buy one, despite not having one. The game will remember you have these arrows when it's time to fight Ganon. Keep the fish on B and play the trading quest until you hit the poacher saw. When you get the saw, equip it to C right and drop the fish and catch it again. When you're done, you'll see that we have Zelda's Lullaby, Serenade of Water, and Prelude of Light. 2 of those songs come in handy later, so it's super important to have those. Now we're going to need Epona to cross the valley in Gerudo Valley and receive the broken Big Goron sword. Once you're done that, well, you know the drill. Drop and catch the fish with the sword on C right. Now you'll have the Spirit, Shadow, and Forest medallions. We're now finished with RBA, so all we need to do to re-equip the Master Sword is to pause and then reselect the Master Sword. Up next is the Magic Meter, but all we need to do is head to Death Mountain, blowing up these rocks and claiming our Magic Meter. You can also bomb this rock here and grab 20 rupees, which you can use to buy some extra arrows, as you will need a minimum of 20 to beat Ganon. Now we've obtained everything we need, so play the Prelude of Light and warp back to the Temple of Time. Here you'll be subject to the light arrow cutscene. With the light arrows, despite not having the bow, if you attempt to equip the light arrows, the game will actually give you the bow anyway, and because we have a quiver and the 20 arrows we bought earlier, we can still use it. Head towards Ganon's castle and the bridge cutscene will play, allowing you to enter the castle. This is where we hit optional detour number 1. With the black gauntlets acting as the golden gauntlets, if you're not comfortable with your ability to beat Ganon, you can grab double defense from the Great Fairy. If you die during the boss fight, you will have to restart the entire fight again, which loses time over getting this, but if you're good at the fight, you don't need this. Enter Ganon's castle and we hit optional detour number 2, which is to enter the secret room here underneath the bridge to Ganon's tower and grab a fairy in our bottle. The entrance here is noticeably fake, so even without the Lens of Truth, it's easy to find. This on top of double defense gives Link a total of 12 hearts. One hit from Ganon's orb takes 4 hearts, killing you instantly without either of these upgrades. But before we can enter the final area, we need to complete Ganon's trials. But like with everything else in this video, there's a glitch for that. Simply head into the Spirit Temple trial and push this Arma statue against the wall by the door, then push it slightly on the carpet like this, then position yourself in a 45-ish degree angle and jump slash. If done correctly, Link will clip through the door and be on the other side. Now you'll see that the main room is completely unloaded other than the collision, making the floor walkable. You can use the auras of the trials to help guide you. Make sure to hug the wall and position yourself directly in the middle of the Spirit and Forest trials, then face directly forwards and walk towards the center. If done right, Link will walk through the barrier and enter Ganon's castle. be sure to make sure you're dead center. If you fall into the basement, you could easily become stuck and have a tough time getting your way back upstairs. If you decide to take detour number 2, take note of the stairs in relation to each of the trials and their auras to help you locate where they are if you fall to the basement. And with that, you're pretty much done. All you need to do now is make your way to the top, fight Ganon, and beat him. And congratulations, you beat Ocarina of Time in under 2 hours. My personal run took exactly 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 7 seconds, which included both of the optional detours. That said, there were plenty of time saves that I could have made throughout the run that could have taken well below an hour and 45. If you decide to get really well at both Door of Time Skip and Forest Escape, you could easily take this route under an hour and 35. Honestly, it's just a really cool experience to say that I can complete my childhood dream of being able to beat Ocarina of Time without even entering a single dungeon. I think it's really cool that these are all relatively easily. The only glitches I actually had to practice was Forest Escape and Door of Time Skip. I just think it's really cool that Ocarina of Time is this broken and beating the game is this easy. Overall, how did you guys hold up? What are your guys' times? What's your guys' runs? Do you have any additions to make to this run? Do you think there's anything that I could do to make it easier, even harder? Do you guys notice any time saves that I could have made in this run? Just let me know and I will maybe update it and try and beat my personal record of an hour and 46 minutes. But with that, thank you and have a good evening.